Hey there, Alex here. This is the Galaxy Note FE. In case you didn't know, this is basically a Note 7 with a smaller and safer battery. FE stands for Fan Edition, which makes sense because after what happened with the Note 7, only a true fan will buy this device. Anyway, that's all in the past now. What I want to talk about is how the phone is like to use in 2019, especially after being updated to One UI. But before we talk about that, let's talk about a few other things about the phone first. Like I mentioned, this is pretty much a Note 7 with a smaller battery, and I think it's actually still pretty good looking. It still has a nice metal and glass body. While the screen isn't quite bezel-less, the sides do go almost edge to edge, and the display is still good looking. It was pretty much the best looking display for its time, and even today, the color still looks pretty nice and the outdoor visibility is still excellent. This is where I want to mention why I said in my Note 10 review that resolution isn't everything. Even though the Note FE has a Quad HD screen, I still think the screen on the Note 10 looks nicer to me when I compare them side by side. Hardware-wise, it's not the most inspiring when it comes to specifications, but it does have a lot of other things going for it. It has wireless charging, IP68 water and dust resistance, it was the first Samsung phone to adopt USB-C, it still has expandable storage, and it still has a headphone jack. The only thing that I really miss is having dual speakers. The Note FE only has a single speaker at the bottom, and it doesn't really sound as good anymore. It's loud, but the sound is a little teeny. Anyway, in terms of how the phone is like to use, it's still pretty enjoyable. Like I mentioned in a couple of recent Samsung phone reviews, I do like One UI. On the Note FE, we are missing the gesture navigations of course, and a handful of other features, but it's mostly as nice to use as newer Samsung phones. But I think because of the older hardware, I do see stutters every now and then. However, it's still usable for sure, even for some simple gaming. Battery life is actually not too bad for me. Maybe because the battery is only 3200 mAh and it's an older phone, I wasn't really expecting much in the first place. But I was able to get over 4 hours of screen on time over a day of light to moderate usage. When it comes to S Pen features, even though it doesn't have all the new features from the Note 10, in terms of core functionality, it's just as good. So the ability to get precise inputs, the ability to quickly take down notes, and the ability to draw on it. It actually supports the same 4096 levels of pressure like the Note 10, and even for Samsung Notes, I'm not really missing a lot of features as well. So to me, it's just as nice to use. I also want to mention how nice it is to have a capacitive fingerprint sensor on the front of the phone. It's easier to unlock the phone when it's on my desk, and it's actually faster and more reliable than the ultrasonic sensor on the Note 10. Anyway, one last thing to talk about is the camera on the Note FE. When the Note 7 was first released, it was pretty good, but then the Google Pixel came along and just made everything else look bad. But anyway, it's still a pretty fun camera to use, and I actually have the lens cover accessory which has a telephoto and wide-angle lens attachment. With those on, I was able to capture some pretty nice looking images. Anyway, I'll have a link in the description below with everything I took with the phone, including videos as well as the front camera, so feel free to check it out. The Note FE is not the quickest phone around anymore, and it has some things that hasn't aged as well. But on the whole, it still works well enough. It has some nice features, and it runs One UI as well. So overall, it's actually still quite a nice phone to use in 2019. Thanks for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more content in the future. I'm on Instagram as well if you want to stay up to date on what I'm up to. Thanks again, and see you guys on the next one.